All right, now I got to get on to another bold guy, Conyers. Now, look, everybody knows that I think this is terrible. There was a Rasmussen poll yesterday we led with on the factor. 70% of Americans feel that any kind of witch hunt involving the Bush administration hurts the country. But this Conyers, he's a fanatic. He's after you. He's after you. You got your subpoena. You got to show up. What's going to happen?
Well, no. I've been directed again on January 16th by the outgoing president's legal counsel not to respond to a subpoena, exerting privilege on behalf of the former president.
So you're not even going to show up?
It's close aides. No. And
what if they hold you in contempt of Congress?
Well, they could look. This issue is. Let's step back for a minute. This issue of whether or not I should show up. I've never exerted any personal privilege. I've never said I have a personal right not to show up.
No, you're a counselor to the president as executive.
Right.
I got all that. But let's go beyond the argument. We know your argument, and then Conyers don't. Say Conyers says Mr. Rove is in contempt of Congress. What happens then?
Well, look, this issue is before the United States Circuit Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia. Representative Conyers could have waited until they resolved the issue one way or another, gave guidance to him and gave guidance to the former president and to the current president, but instead he decided to just sort of go forward with this. I don't know if I call it a witch hunt. I don't think of myself as a witch, but it is certain. This is a guy who went to the cloakroom and said somebody has to get his, and then filled in a crude way to describe my posterior. He's sort of like Captain Ahab and I'm the whale. And you know, he could wait until the United States judicial system resolves how this ought to be handled, but instead he wanted to have a stunt, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, he definitely made a grandstand play, and he wanted to get a lot of attention. Now he's after you on the U.S. attorney's deal. That's what he's calling you in for.
Well, what's interesting is he also said the Siegelman matter, the allegation that Governor Siegelman of Alabama was the subject of a political witch hunt, that I was behind this. What's interesting to me is that while he wants to get me in there, he has yet to subpoena and bring before the committee anybody who could offer any evidence whatsoever that I had any role to do with anything inappropriate in either one of these matters.
All he wants to do is embarrass you. That's all he wants to do.
Well,
is embarrass you.
Look, if the best embarrassment, it strikes me, would be to get Governor Siegelman and Dana Jill Simpson and put them before the committee and put them under oath and have them say something that they could be held to account for that would be disturbing about me. But he won't do that. And
Mr. Rove, if you need a place to hide out, we have it here at the Factor. We have all kinds of tunnels and places we can put you.
I don't need to hide.
Okay.
I don't need to hide.
No, you're a stand-up guy. I mean, you absolutely. I told Mr. Rove, look, if you don't want to talk about this tonight, you don't have to. And he said, no, we're going to talk about it, and he did. All right, good luck, and we'll follow the story as always. Thanks, Mr. Rove. Next on the Rundown, Dick Morris will